normally before I get on here and entertain y'all with my life. I'm a little more awake than this. I've done my walk to this place actually, where there's a bathroom, and usually I walk to go get gas and or go to the gas station. I'm a little more awake. Also, I did some. I actually did not do as much karaoke last night as I normally do, and as I would have, because the night before, my Eamon said he was feeling kind of lonely, and so I was like, you know what? I'll do a couple songs because it's my birthday. I'm gonna go hang out with my Eamon. And oh, man, that kid, he's such a good kid. I uh, I was laughing because I made sure I brought him a steak sandwich from work. I get a free shift meal, free shift drink. He can't have the drink, but he can have the meal. And I got him a steak sandwich, and it was so good, and he loved it so much. And then I got to the car, and I was impressed. Just lost the last he had. I didn't think he had anything. You know what I mean? But he did, that boy. And apparently he found some money too, like on the ground, like when he was walking around too. So Spirit took care of him. And I was like, "You see that magic? Look at you." And he decided to pull an old wickedly divine feminine trick and go to the Dollar Tree. And it's funny. I'll show it off later because he's in the car still sleeping. But there was a book called Nerd Parenting, and I love it. I mean, it's got advice from Spock and from Doctor Who, and oh man, just like things you wouldn't imagine from the Hobbits. Like I mean, it's pretty. It's pretty amazing for a dollar. It even had the parable of Pinocchio and talked about why you shouldn't just tell kids, I told you so, because how are they going to know what the real reason is to avoid something until they hit natural consequences if your only thing that you're telling them is, I told you so, which is something that I have preached for so many fucking years. It's great. And he found me a card, and it was beautiful. It was all about gratitude and a mother being a good example and being kind. And I was like, oh. And he was so proud of himself. And get this, I'm loving this because remember I was doing yesterday my day 17 video, and I was like, I'm gonna have some birthday magic. It's gonna be great. Well, what I thought was extra fun, he reached out to everybody that has helped us along the way. He realized that those are our friends, right? Those are our community. And he asked them if he could sign their name on my birthday card. It was very creative of him. And what made me laugh is he reached out to his dad and he asked for his consent, which is something that's always been a big topic in our house because I want to make sure they understand what consent is, that they could say no, what it means when other people say no, stuff like that. So I love that was his choice of words for his dad, who's my DM. And he said he was amazed because his dad even said, yes, please do, and tell her I do wish that she has a happy birthday, which kind of made me laugh because I'm like, ha, got your wish. No. But he did that, and then when he was at the store, and he wasn't sure whether the EBT would cover something like, say, cake, which is so funny. I'm like, I'm kind of glad he didn't end up getting cake. I really didn't want cake, but for him, he's agreed. Cake, or we've agreed that for him, cake makes everything better. There's been a few times even that there's been like random moments that I'll like stop in to check on some connection or something, and somebody will be having some birthday party, and they're like, "We got way too much cake. Do you want some?" And I always take some, and bring it back to my Eamon because I'm like, I know you said cake makes everything better, and and I love it because he had asked his dad when he was in the store. He's like, "Does EBT cover cake and stuff like that?" And his dad said, "Yeah." And he asked him a few other things. But then he decided, and this makes me laugh so hard. He decided to get me cookies. He said, "I won't almost got you donuts, but that seemed like it'd been too done, and I know you get me donuts all the time, so I wanted to get you something else, so I got you cookies." And I laughed because he didn't really read the package. He saw that they were chocolate chip cookies, but they're flaxseed chocolate chip cookies. But that's not a bad thing. It's not. I love my health food and I love stuff like that. But I'm not usually when it comes to desserts and things like that. If it's junk food, I kind of like the actual full-on junk food. Like Betty White, right? Eat your junk food. Enjoy your vodka. But no, I laughed because it still was very me. And even the package on it was, it said you can compost it even, which is something that I liked to do when we were at our house. You know, it's just learning how to do it. My great grandfather used to do it and used to go out and churn it, and he had like a real big one. I wanted to learn how to do that. He had all the equipment for it. But the flaxseed thing is really funny too, and it reminds me of my birth mom and stuff like that. Like trying to make healthy food taste good, and they don't taste bad. It's just funny because they're certainly not wheat cookies, and but it's adorable because that's our kind of thing, you know, a little eccentric, and he gets from his dad too, that absent-minded professor kind of thing too, which just it was so perfect. Anyways, and one of his friends, and this was kind of a magical moment. They had a bit of a challenge because like one of his friends introduced him to someone else online, and that other friend's group of people, I guess, did not want to share their friend. It was kind of a weird, complicated situation, but he was worried about losing the one friend. And I did my best to show my aim and how to manifest that friend back in without violating free will, without like a whole bunch of nonsense, you know, just being himself and having faith in people. And guess who reached out to him? That person did. And this boy, too, he also reached out to many of the kids that we've seen along our path, some of whom I wasn't sure if we'd be able to talk to because their parents are going crazy. And they all wished me happy birthday, too. Like I sat in that car, and like every like 15, 20 minutes, he says, "Oh, this person just got back to me. I didn't get to sign it on the card, but they said happy birthday." I'm like, see, that's awesome. Tell them I love them, you know? And now here I am in a park, which to intuitive, and I'm sure Maverick, if she's watching it, I really love this especially. This is called Rivers Park. This is just part of it. This is the bigger part. The it's actually, funny enough, a disc golf park, which I am told from the manly men folk out here is one of the best games, and they're going to teach me how to play at some point. And it's beautiful. This park actually goes right up along the Stillaguamish River, and if you go back into it, there's a number of little trails and things, and then it connects over to what's called Howler Park, which is a cool playground park. They even have they put in the stuff to have it be like a water park for kids in the summer, and it's got a little snack booth. It's very awesome. In any case, I find myself this morning, 36 years old plus one day, on the 16th day of the 40 days and 40 nights, thinking about our next move. Because I feel like Spirit's having me still face one of the earlier challenges that we looked at when we first left the Yellow House to protect us. And what it is that I have everything that I need to rent an apartment or a house even. I can rent a house and I can afford the rent. What I don't have is first, last, and or deposit if they require it. And that one's a little more challenging because everything I've looked at, whether it be buying an RV outright, whether it be first, last deposit, whether it be in some cases just first and last, or whether it be another scenario. Hi, sweetie. Hi. No. You say hi. Hi, puppy. There's this beautiful little puppy. Hi. She didn't want to hold still, or I would have shown it to you. She looked like a miniature husky. Probably not a Pomeranian, probably a Samoyed mix. There's lots of dogs around here. And I like that too. Dogs are a great symbolism of loyalty, friendship, playfulness, and gratitude, actually. In any case, in order to do almost anything housing wise, if the studios don't come through that I found, it's probably gonna be about 4 grand. And it's funny because I'm sitting here thinking about what I've been talking about with the whole manifesting my first $1 million this year. And part of me is kind of like in this place of like, why does it feel easier to think about manifesting $1 million than it does to manifest 4 grand, right? And you know what it is? I think it's because I don't want to ask people for more money. Like, it's part of it is just trying to have good integrity, but the other part I think is my adopted mother's voice in my head too is you're never supposed to need anything or want anything or ask for anything. You keep your head down, you do everything for everybody else, and you don't hope and you don't dream. It's funny, it's my DM's family too. Put those dreams away. Don't you try to get it comfortable. I was gonna say get ahead. I was like, don't you try to get comfortable. Don't you try to get basics. Don't you try to need anything. you know. But I know we can do this one way or another. I mean, I was telling my oldest because he was like, I hope that those people come through to us for the studio or something like that because they're being really weird. And I said, I kind of do too, though I've learned enough through this stuff. I don't know everything. I'm still learning a lot. I just mean in this current moment, I've learned enough to know that sometimes spirit makes you wait so you can get something better or something more. And also sometimes it detours you because either the thing that you thought that you wanted isn't ready yet or it just wasn't time. Like maybe the people weren't aligned for the way you were going to do it, things like that. And I said, how about instead of putting your energy into let's get these studios, these things like this, open it up. And this is something that y'all can use too, because I know that it works. And I told him, I said, instead of thinking about where we're going to get one, I want you to think about this. All we really need is the first last deposit thing. It's a little chunk of money. We had it if the studios would have been open and available. But that money went into keeping the car warm and some mishaps with the 7-Eleven guys and stuff like that, and my Eamon and his neurodivergence. It happens, but we need to fundraise for that. And or the other thing is, I mean, we'll just do the cars thing, and I'll save my checks. Like, well, it won't take too long, but that could be a few months, and it's really not great for his back like this. So I'm hoping between see, I'm working over at the Centennial. Please come and visit me in Arlington if you're up here. And I'm going to be doing the magic classes over at Mirkwood. I'm just setting up the schedule, so there's some income there. And I've already planned to try to go over to maybe H&R Block or something like that on my next day off, Thursday, because it wouldn't help much on a Sunday. And see about getting my tax money. IRS owes me money. Which is funny because I've been kind of avoidant with it because they owe a lot of people money right now. And with this like Depression 2 thing economically, I'm not putting all of my eggs in that basket. Like they do owe me a pretty chunk of money, but they don't like to give out money. So we'll see. But I'm hoping through H&R Block that they'll help me with the little button-up stuff with it, and then they'll do the waiting. They'll give me the money, and then they'll wait for the money from the IRS. That's usually the way they do it, so it would be nice. And if that works out, maybe if y'all send me some wonderful prayers and consciousness in that, maybe, just maybe, I'll have the money myself through my own monies, which would just feel so delightfully Capricorn and fit in well with this Capricorn and Venus energy. Because I've definitely had a thing about wanting to do things myself. A lot. I think part of this has been a healing journey, in that it's like that person that likes to stalk me and to tell me I shouldn't try to believe that I'm too spiritual to work, which still makes me laugh so much. I love you, whoever you are. I know you're probably a fake profile from somebody from the Pirates end, but like, even if I did think that I was too spiritual to work, which I don't, I mean, I've got so much Capricorn in me. I'm not joking when I say I like working. Like, it's more what gets in the way of me working. I can be a workaholic quite a bit, so that's the thing I've been trying not to do. I said that to a friend the other day. I was like, how do I provide an appropriate environment for my kids and their pet and myself without being gone all the time, you know? Because I remember a lot of that, being alone a lot. And obviously, it wasn't all bad because I think I'm pretty darn amazing these days, but I don't want my kids to have to go through that much aloneness, and certainly not that much having, parents who are stressed all the fucking time because they're doing the old outdated way of things. I know it can work out. Question is how, right? And what's great is this twin flame journey while I stand in this Twin Rivers Park has shown me so much cool magic. I know that I don't need to worry. Worry just manifests more of what you're worried about. So my mind is on the infinite doors of opportunity. It's just a simple matter of which way next, which thing to try next. And I think until then, I'm just gonna keep walking, pounding the pavement, and checking out these local apartments. A lot of them don't have phone numbers online, but they do around here. And there's a lot of awesome locals who know people that know the managers and stuff. So I've been working on that. Ooh, there's a woolly bear caterpillar. I don't know if you can see it. What's funny is I don't know how many of you know local legends about woolly bears, but they say, I believe it's is it the red bits or the black bits? There's a certain amount of the color on them. I want to say, I believe it's the black bits. Like, the bigger they are of that on their coloration, the colder the winter will be, kind of thing. And I think I've got that right. If that's true, I mean, we did just have a very, very cold moment in winter. Colder than it's been in a long time. Alright, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here and head back to the car and figure out a game plan. Figure out what kinds of things I can do on a Sunday to help us get towards housing. I know there's things that can be done. It's just how much, and how much of that can I do and still take my Eamon out to lunch, because he deserves it. Alright, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you in whatever the next video is that I make.